As Nigeria gears up for the 2027 elections, the political landscape is increasingly fraught with tensions and uncertainty. Nigeria stands at a critical juncture in its political landscape. Recent defections have ignited a firestorm of debate and concerns regarding the health of our multi-party system. Recent developments under the administration of President Tinubu has ignited an urgent conversation about the health of Nigeria's democracy, particularly concerning the potential shift towards a one-party state. The once vibrant political arena of multi-party democracy is actually under siege, and the implications are far-reaching. I'm Odiawa AI, and this is Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. Join us shortly. Now, in recent weeks, a disturbing trend has taken root. Prominent figures from opposition parties are making high-profile exits, aligning themselves with the APC. This wave of defections has ignited fears amongst political analysts, civic societies, organizations, and citizens alike. Now, could this be the beginning of the end of Nigeria's multi-party system? The specter of a one-party state looms large, casting a long shadow over the future of democracy within the nation. Now, civil societies, on the other part, activists, are sounding the alarm, asserting that the current political maneuvers or meanderings are not merely opportunistic, but part of a systematic effort to erode the very foundation of democratic principles. They argue that a democracy stripped of opposition is a hollow shell devoid of genuine representation and accountability. These implications of such shifts are quite spine-chilling. Without a vibrant opposition, the checks and balances, which is a feature of democracy essential for a thriving one at that, will be dismantled, leaving the populace vulnerable to unchecked power. Now, the accusation of the Tinubu administration utilizing state institutions for partisan gains are particularly disturbing. Such actions not only compromise the integrity of democratic processes, but also erode public trust in governance when citizens perceive that their institutions are being weaponized for political merit or advantage. Disillusionment sets in, and the very fabric of democracy begins to shred away. Now, the ramifications of a political or a potential one-party state extends beyond mere alignment to the APC, specifically speaking. They threaten the essence of any democratic value, which is actually the freedom of choice, political pluralism, and the right to dissent at any stake. Now, as we move closer to the 2027 elections, the question which we begin to ask is, will we stand as citizens idly because or by as our hard-won democratic rights are stripped away, or will we rise to defend them? These are food for thought which we need to wine and dine about. The defection of such key political figures, notably Delta State Governor Sheriff Obowori, his deputy Monday Onyebe, and several commissioners from the PDP to the APC, has sent shockwaves through the nation. Now, this seismic shift not only raises eyebrows or drops jaws, but also amplifies fears about the motivations behind these political meanderings. Adding to the complexity of this situation is the recent transition of Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, which of course is no news anymore, from the former PDP vice presidential candidate to Atiku to the APC. This move actually comes on the heels of scrutiny from the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, regarding corruption allegations against him, leading to rampant speculations about the underpinning motivations for his defection. Now, are these shifts mere political strategy, or do they signal deeper issues within our democratic institutions? These are questions we need to rhetorically keep asking. The implications of these defections are quite profound, if you will agree. They raise critical questions about governance, accountability, and the very future of Nigeria's democratic framework. Political analysts argue that for a democracy to thrive, there must be a robust opposition capable of challenging the ruling government and expressing diverse viewpoints. A diminishing opposition not only threatens the dynamics of the political debate, but also risks the erosion of public trust in democratic institutions. Now, as we edge closer to the elections in 2 years' time, the stakes will continue to always be higher. The trend of defections observed in Delta State is echoed in Akwa Ibom and various parts of the north, where prominent political figures appear to gravitate towards the APC. This pattern poses a serious threat to the fabric of multi-party system, as it consolidates political power and undermines the checks and balances that are essential for any democratic system. The responsibility to defend democratic values and a multi-party governance falls upon every citizen, political stakeholders, and civil societies alike to engage in informed discussions and advocate for transparency in governance. Holding elected officials accountable is not merely an option, it is a necessity for persevering the integrity of Nigeria's democracy. Join us shortly as we look into the defection or indicative defections of Governor Moeno of Akwa Ibom State. You're welcome back. Now, indicative suspicions over defection from the part of Governor Moeno of Akwa Ibom State has recently hinted at a potential defection at to the All Progressives Congress. Now, this revelation carries with it significant implications for the state's political equilibrium and raises serious questions about the future of a multi-party system, particularly in Akwa Ibom State. Now, in a striking address, Governor Omoeno likened the People's Democratic Party to a faulty aircraft, a vivid metaphor that captures the growing discontent about party members. Now, his words resonate with the sentiment of many who feel under the current leadership that the PDP might not be able to navigate the turbulent skies of Nigerian politics, thus failing to transport its members to the desired political Canaan land, if I may put it that way. Now, this metaphor serves as a stark warning about the fragility of the PDP, suggesting that the party may be heading towards a crash landing site if significant changes are not actually made. The implications of Eno's potential defection extend beyond mere party loyalty. Should he decide to align with the APC, it could embolden the ruling party's influence in Akwa Ibom State and at large the South-South region. Now, a state that has long been a bastion of the PDP will begin to witness the sweeping takeover or hostile takeover of the APC. The prospect of a major political figure like Eno switching allegiance signifies a political or potential shift in voter sentiment, as well as a potential domino effect where other party stalwarts may follow suit. This shift could lead to an unprecedented consolidation of power within the APC, raising alarms about the viability of a multi-party system in Nigeria. Now, compounding the drama, Eno's predecessor and political mentor Udom Emmanuel is also rumored to be contemplating a similar shift towards the APC. Now, Emmanuel Udom's potential defection adds another layer of complexity to the political equation in Akwa Ibom State. As a prominent figure in the PDP, his departure could significantly weaken the party structure and further diminish the morale of the party and its chances of recovery. The loss of two key leaders would not only demoralize the PDP but also create a perception of instability and disunity within the party, further dividing or driving its members towards the ruling APC. This situation in Akwa Ibom reflects a broader trend occurring across Nigeria where political realignment seems to be the order of the day. As the APC continues to consolidate power, the very essence of multi-party system is under threat evidently. The potential for a one-party state actually will continue to loom large, and the ramifications of such a shift could be there for Nigeria's democratic fabric. The political scene is shifting as we observe these developments, and it is crucial for every stakeholder to remain vigilant. The defection of political figures not only alters the balance of power in the immediate region, but also sets a precedent for political maneuvering across the nation. Now, in a democracy, the strength of opposition parties is vital for healthy governance. The erosion of this framework could lead to the entrenchment of a single party rule, stifling the voices of millions and undermining democratic aspirations of the populace. Now, as we navigate these turbulent political waters, one must continue to ask, will the PDP be able to repair its faulty aircraft and reclaim its position, or will the APC ascend the mark or end of meaningful multi-party democracy in Nigeria? The coming months will be crucial in determining the answers of these pressing questions. Next up, we will be talking about, still in Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio, Senate President and number 3 citizen. Now, recent statements from Senate President Senator Godswill Akpabio has raised eyebrows and sparked concerns about the future of democratic governance in the state. Now, during a meeting with APC leaders in Uyo, capital of Akwa Ibom, Akpabio boldly proclaimed that it would be abnormal for the APC not to have a governor in Akwa Ibom by 2027. Now, this declarative statement is more than mere political rhetoric. It signals a shift towards a one-party dominance that could undermine the very fabric, like I've been saying, of democracy in Nigeria. Now, Akpabio's assertion underscores a growing sentiment within the APC, a party that has made significant strides in the political arena since inception. However, the emphasis on party cohesion, as highlighted by his remark, as he stated, wherever the Senate president is, that is where the party is. Now, this statement raises critical questions about the nature of political competition in Akwa Ibom State. The Senate president's prominent position in the federal government amplifies his influence as a number 3 citizen, suggesting that the APC is not merely vying for power but is actively seeking to consolidate it at the expense of a truly democratic process. The implications of Akpabio's profound comments are seemingly jaw-dropping. They suggest a worldview where political success is achieved not through endorsement of an electorate, but rather through the machinery of party loyalty and the manipulation of power dynamics. This approach can lead to a chilling effect on opposition parties, which may find themselves increasingly marginalized in a political environment that favors a single-party narrative. The path to a one-party state appears to have paved the bricks of intimidation and coercion, where dissenting voices are drowning out in a clamor for uniformity. Furthermore, the political landscape in Akwa Ibom State raises alarms about the erosion of democratic ideals in a healthy democratic setting. Diverse political parties offer a spectrum of choices for the electorate, fostering a culture of debate and discussion. However, the rhetoric coming from the APC leadership suggests a disinterest in pluralism. Instead of engaging in constructive dialogue with opposition parties, there is a clear push towards monopolizing power, which poses a direct threat to the democratic principles that underpin Nigeria's governance. Now, as the APC gears up, setting itself in motion for the 2027 elections, the stakes will always be higher. The party's leadership must be reminded that the strength of democracy lies not in control, but in the ability to accommodate differing views and promote inclusive governance. An election dominated by a single party not only diminishes the vibrancy of political discourse, but also alienates segments of the population that may feel disenfranchised by the APC-held hegemony. The comments from Senator Akpabio should serve as a clarion call for stakeholders in Nigeria's democracy, and the fight for a multi-party system is not merely about electoral victories, it's about preserving the integrity of governance and ensuring every Nigerian has a voice in shaping their future. As we approach the crucial elections of 2027, it's important that we remain vigilant against the encroachment of one-party rule and advocate for the political environment with diversity and democracy, which can actually thrive in the future of Nigeria's democracy. I've been your host, Odiawa AI, and the show has been Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue.